much. Well, first of all, I just want to honor everyone who's here live. It's always fun to have people live with us. And when I saw this opportunity to speak, I knew immediately that I wanted to share about our body and the importance and wisdom that lives in the body so that we can actually thrive during challenges. And we're in a big challenge right now. So some of what I'm going to say is actually going to be experiential because I feel that talking at is less effective than talking with. So I really want to invite you for a moment just to take a few deep breaths and kind of move your body and notice when's the last time you were aware that you had a body. Just take a deep breath into that body. And as I speak, I want to invite you to continue taking those deep, full breaths. And I'm going to explain why breathing is so crucial if we want to shift the state of being that we're in and boost the immunity. So first, I want to start with this idea of the body and mind. I work a lot with that. So that's what my doctorate is in psychology. And I look a lot at ancient teachings, so like Qigong practices, and how they're made relevant now in modern times. And what I'm finding is that we have neuroscience and physiotherapies and osteopathies and all these different domains, medicine, showing why these old methods work. So I'm actually going to share a couple of those as well with you here today, because I really want you to have those tools. So the first thing I want you to understand is that there's no separation between the mind and the body. And that makes sense because we're one whole unit. We often talk as though we're separate in order to understand that. But every thought and feeling that we have is translated through the body and vice versa. So probably the most important part of what we're going to do today is to understand the impact of breath for regulating the nervous system and the impacts of what we're actually feeling emotionally as the heart is informing the brain what to do 80% more quickly than the mind informing the body. So our feeling, how we feel, is very important. Okay, so let's look at the nervous system, because what I'm noticing in my community is that people are getting wound up and tight. People are feeling anxious. When we feel anxious, we start to breathe very top heavy. So the diaphragm of our body gets really tight. A lot of us, when we're very stressed, we start to run adrenaline. This is increasing the heartbeat. It's making our muscles primed to either run or fight. And although that's a great mechanism when we have a saber-toothed tiger, it's not good when we're facing a challenge like we're in right now, where the stay-at-home time might be a whole month or longer. To sustain that level of stress and intensity and alertness for prolonged periods of time is going to lead to a lot of chronic issues, and it does crash the immune system. So one of the first things I want us to do right now is, again, notice the breath. And as you exhale, I want you to purse your lips and breathe out slower than your inhale. You don't have to make that sound. I'm just making it so you can hear the breath. So as you're breathing like that, pursing the lips, and it's coming out very, very slowly, you're basically regulating your heart and telling it to slow down. And what that does is it signals to the nervous system, we need to down regulate. That means relax. But if you just tell yourself you need to relax, it doesn't work, right? So it's really important to notice that you have control about how you breathe. And that's going to be an amazing tool for so many ways. So the first tool, like I said, is just that breath, that slow breath in and that pursed lip breath out. That will start really modulating the nervous system and having it coming more into a centralized location that's good for rest and digest. And that's what we want as our prominent state of being as we're facing the challenge we're facing right now. There's a few reasons we want to do that. So as you're practicing that breath, and I continue to speak, I want you to notice if you're more aware of your body or less aware of your body as you do it. Typically, the slowing down of the breath gives you more awareness of the whole body and more awareness of your surroundings. It also allows you to think more clearly. So as we're moving through these really challenging times right now, and we're having to make a lot of decisions into the unknown, they're unpredictable. We've never had this before. We don't know what's coming. Because that's so scary, we actually can shut off our ability to think clearly. So the breath I just showed you can help you bring your ability to think more clearly online. And that is so important because every single one of us, the state of being that we're in has huge impact on everyone else. And every choice that we make or don't make equally has impact on everyone else. So being aware that you can actually shift your state of being to being more relaxed and to think more clearly is absolutely essential. And Jim, I am just so delighted that we're here because this is a skill set that we can teach kids as well. I actually think that this should be taught in schools, but since they're being homeschooled and they get to watch this, they get to learn it with their parents. So that's amazing. So for the kids, if you're watching this, it's really important. If you start to feel like things are a little scary or your parents are being too intense, you can walk away for a moment and just start taking some deeper breaths with your mouth like that. You can make a funny sound if you like, and it'll help you feel more calm. And maybe it'll remind the adults around you to calm down as well. Okay, so I want to talk about limbic resonance. For those of you who right now are in leadership roles, for those of you who are out there doing all the essential jobs that we need, and if you happen to be watching this, or just simply if you're at home with others, limbic resonance is something you need to be really, really aware of. Limbic resonance is a theory that was developed by 3 doctors. The book, if you want to read it, is called The General Theory of Love. There's some great information in there. But it talks about all mammals have an open circuitry, and we learn how to regulate ourselves. We learn how to be human or a mammal, because it happens also with other mammals, through another mammal. So when we're little babies, we actually learn how to sleep and how to digest, etc., through the proximity of being with our mothers or primary caregivers. So why that's important right now, especially for you if you're in a primary caregiving role or you're in a leadership role, is that the state of your being is what's influencing everyone else in the space with you. So if you're saying you're happy and you have a smile, but inside you feel really anxious, that anxiety is going to permeate that space and inform all the other nervous systems in that space. There's something we need to be anxious about, which isn't helpful right now. So that's why that first breathing exercise is so crucial. And then understanding the impact of our state of being is so essential. So if we can then down-regulate, which is bringing that nervous system from high arousal state into parasympathetic or more relaxation, then we actually have the ability to give a little bit more calmness to the people around us. And this is very important, especially say in trauma work. There's a lot of people who might find what we're moving through right now a bit traumatic. And so if you could help those people really easily, even online, even like this, when you emanate a state of calmness, it has impact. People read calmness through our visual cues, the tone of our voice, how we're moving our body. If we're leaning forward and a little anxious and eyes popping out, it gives a very different message than when we're sitting in our body and our voices are calm and we're taking deep breaths and then we're inviting people into the conversation. That's probably, I think, the biggest impact that we can have right now. Okay. The third wisdom of our body that I want to share today is around oxytocin. I think a lot of us know what that is, but I'm going to describe it for those who may not. Oxytocin has a few roles. Its primary role as a hormone is the bonding role. So when a mother gives birth and she connects with her baby and starts to breastfeed, there's so much oxytocin, and it's this feeling of love and trust and affection, and it's very bonding. You feel this with your children, you feel this with your partner, you feel it with your loved ones, close friends, and it's usually generated when we come together and when we have physical contact. That's why I'm bringing this up right now, because of the hugging and the touching inducing oxytocin. But we have this physical distancing thing that's happening. And some of us in our communities are actually fully isolated, alone. So we're not getting those benefits of oxytocin. And why would oxytocin be really important during stressful times? It actually helps to, again, down-regulate that nervous system, remind us to relax, enter a state of trust, which is very important right now. And it's a neurotransmitter. So it makes our brain more plastic. And this is important, as I mentioned in the beginning of what I was saying, that we think more clearly, but we also think more creatively, so that we have a solution-based thinking instead of a disaster-based thinking. So the last part of what I'm going to share today is how to self-induce oxytocin, because we can actually do that. A lot of us think that we need someone else around to do that, but we actually can self-induce it. So the little practice we're going to do for that involves rubbing your hands. So I want you to rub your hands, and you're just going to create some of that heat and warmth in your hands. And then I want you just very gently start to squeeze, say, your arm. And as you're doing that, I want you to take some deep breaths. And you're just squeezing your arm and you're taking some deep breaths. And then I want you to notice, look around, notice your physical space, and notice that right here in this moment, you're safe. And this is step one, and this can help take us out of a triggered experience and down-regulate to, I'm safe, I'm okay. So if you're in that state, just remember, kind of like firm, gentle, connected touch, breathing, eyes open, and noticing what's happening. The second part of getting oxytocin to come online is then actually very gentle touch. So we're going to rub again. And now I want you just to very gently rub down from the top of your head, kind of stream down. Go down your face, just very gently with those full breaths. Go down one of your arms, just very gently, and the other arm. Take a full breath as you come down your own chest, go down your belly. And then I want you to rest with your hands on your legs. If you're seated, if you're lying down, you can put your hands wherever they're comfortable. And we're just going to take a few deep breaths right before I end my talk here today. So let's take a deep breath in and release a sigh. Another breath in. Third breath in. Taking a moment to relax into your body and give thanks that you have a body, that your body is strong, and that your body knows what to do. It knows how to boost immunity, it knows how to ground, and it knows how to thrive. Thank you so much for letting me be here today, Dawn, Jim, and everyone who's watching. I'm very, very honored. Thank you.